Happy belated New Year, everyone. I say that because I haven't uploaded since the 31st, and I am now back in school for my second semester of my junior year, and I'm happy to report that none of my classes are anti-tech, meaning I can, be a person and use a laptop or an iPad to take notes and engage with the course material. And the first iPad that I thought to pick up before my go-to iPad Pro 11-inch is the iPad mini 6th generation, and after, several months of owning it, after several months of using it, honestly on and off, I haven't used it as much as I would like. After the honeymoon phase, if you will, that I had back in September, the question is this thing too small? All right, first up, let's talk about note-taking with the iPad mini. We're gonna sort of do this in a pros and then cons format for the rest of this video, by the way, as well. But yeah, first up, this is how I normally look in class. I have my laptop open and my iPad as well. I don't exclusively use one or the other. I think they both do things differently and better than the other, but that's a separate point for a different video. What I'm getting at is the iPad mini size is wonderful when you have limited desk space, especially if you wanna have your laptop open to the side or in front of you. The fact that this fits so nicely in such a small space is wonderful too. Also, it's notebook size. Like I said in my iPad mini video from last year, this can fit in a pocket, and the fact that it's just like an iPad Air is wonderful, especially coming from the older, more legacy design. And I was taking, full-fledged notes here. It's definitely big enough to do that, but I will kind of get into size as a con in a minute here. But what I have found in my note-taking with this is that it's a great companion with a laptop. I wouldn't say it's an iPad that you would want to use all by yourself or all by itself, unless you're a big compact / iPad mini / iPhone mini type of person. But it's really great to have your touch screen if you are more of a laptop person, which honestly I am at this point. I'm in love with my MacBook Pro 16-inch and M1 or Apple Silicon Macs as that is. Mac OS fits my workflow a bit better, but for where I need it, the iPad is great. And I've really enjoyed the iPad mini being pretty, I guess, out of the way, but still definitely a full-fledged iPad nonetheless. Also, too, real quick, shout out to GoodNotes, and specifically GoodNotes 5, which is the app that I use for all of my college note-taking, whether they decided to sponsor this video or not. If I made this video, I'd still be talking about it, at least indirectly. I love it. It allows a lot of customization in terms of your notebook covers and also the digital paper that you can use, and has like a sort of tab navigation here and a lot of great tools to use, and PDF markup, which I'll talk about later in this video. But yeah, I love this app and I highly recommend it. And with that said, now let's talk about the cons with this, and size is a con. I prefer to have a little bit more screen space when I'm really taking notes. I think taking notes constitutes or is like a lot of writing here, like line, writing, paragraph form, whatever, just jotting down your thoughts. And while you can do this, especially while zoomed in, I do like having a bit of extra space. That's why I switched to a 12.9-inch iPad Pro in early 2020, although I later reverted back to an 11-inch because I think that's more of a, or a less unwieldy size. But this is a little bit too small for me. However, if you do have smaller hands or you do like a compact iPad, you can definitely get away with it. But if you want to be more comfortable, I would say a 10.2-inch plus size screen, whether you get an iPad Air or an 11-inch iPad Pro and up, might be better for you. But again, if you want a companion to your laptop, this is definitely a device that you're going to want to consider within the Apple ecosystem specifically. All right, next up, let's talk about annotation with the iPad mini. And I like to differentiate note-taking from annotation because to me, note-taking is actually dictating down your thoughts, maybe what a professor is saying or your own interpretation of what they're saying, like words, like paragraphs and stuff, which is why I mentioned how a bigger size might accommodate that better for a lot of writing. But for zooming in and, highlighting, for example, like on this little slide that I have right here for finance, I'll probably show you in B-roll. It's not that hard to do it with this screen, especially since you can zoom in. Also, too, I use this or have used it for work. I do sign a lot of contracts as a YouTuber for brand deals, so having a small little tablet on hand to do that is nice, especially on a desk where you might have a desktop here like an iMac, and I don't want to have an iPad sprawling over my limited desk space here. So just like with note-taking, that is an advantage here. And in terms of disadvantages, because of the size, there really aren't that many. Like I said, this is not a task that is optimized by more space. You don't need all the space in the world to do this. it. So if you are somebody dealing with PDFs and documents, whether it is for school or for, you know, your own business or whatever you're doing, this is totally big enough. And I love how it's so small. So I can, you know, do some typing in the computer and then just get to annotating here when I need to. Maybe I can, you know, airdrop a contract to my computer or some sort of PDF that I'm marking up. It's nice, and I really haven't had an issue doing this task with this at all. Also, quick shout out to Paperlike. They are a channel sponsor, but a great one. They make these incredible Paperlike or paper surface style screen protectors. I literally cannot use an iPad without one. No exaggeration. I will die in a hill defending that statement. I love these screen protectors, and they make the writing and annotating experience so much more realistic. I'll leave a link in the video description to that, and the link is affiliate, so if you do buy one, it does help the channel out quite a bit. Next up, let's talk about reading books with the iPad mini. And I love this because it reminds me of my old Kindle Paperwhite that I never used, unfortunately, because I was a stupid 12-year-old and I don't really read as much as I should, but I do read for classes. And if I'm going to read a PDF or like a history textbook or whatever, I'm gonna pick this up simply because I can just sit back and hold it with one hand, or more comfortably like I would a smartphone. You also have enough screen space to do some highlighting and annotation, which I like. So yeah, this is a pretty ideal size if you like to read. The only downsides I can think of are you fit less text on the display. So if you want to have more to read on the display and maybe you don't want to have as many pages converted to fit, like what I'm saying is like an iPad Pro 11-inch would fit more text, so it might be the same size, but you'd have less pages to sort of scroll through. Not that that's a big issue, but if you want to scale your text bigger, you're going to be just flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping. So maybe a bigger screen size might fit you best, so you don't have like 1,000 pages converted just to fit the small screen with big text, if you get my drift. But other than that, I love the size for this. It is, again, so much like a Kindle Paperlike, or a Paperlike. I mean, the Kindle, or the, not the Kindle, I'm like having a stroke. The Paperlike screen protector on here makes it look like that kind of e-ink display, so get this screen protector for that reason as well, beyond, you know, Apple Pencil usage. But yeah, I love that about this. And like I said, I'm gonna continue to read with this over, honestly, my iPad Pro 11-inch, simply because it's so comfortable to use like this. Next up, let's talk about the iPad mini for communicating in iMessage or WhatsApp or FaceTime. It's pretty nice because you can two-hand and use the keyboard, you know, sort of like you would on an iPhone, but it's much bigger than an iPhone. I gotta close iMessage so I don't expose my contacts here, but as you can see, you know, the screen size is quite a bit different, even though this is a really big phone. So yeah, this is great for video calls and some typing, especially, like I said, when you're using it, you know, two-handed like this. The downside to this, though, is that there is no Magic Keyboard option. I, for one, love typing out messages in iMessage with my MacBook keyboard, or a Magic Keyboard with my iPad Pro 11-inch or 12.9-inch. And the landscape keyboard on here, if you can see it, is a little small, definitely usable, but you do have to kind of pick and choose the letters a little more carefully. That's the only thing I can really think of. Other than that, though, it's excellent, once again, for any kind of communication that you could think of, messaging, video calls, especially Zoom calls. So if you don't want to whip out your laptop, but you want something a little bit bigger than your phone, I mean, this is basically the best in between. You get a full-sized iPad experience shrunk down. And yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe it's a little too small for note-taking in my case, but as I've said so far, it's big enough for reading and communicating. So I do enjoy this device for that purpose as well. Next up, let's talk about media consumption with the iPad mini. And I like it for watching videos simply because it's bigger than my iPhone, you know, good enough for TikTok and YouTube, more than good enough, really. You got stereo speakers on here, the screen is really bright and colorful. And yeah, again, it's bigger than my phone and very comfortable to hold in bed or sort of reclining back, you know, like relaxing after you're done with a day of work here. It's also great for gaming with two hands, like first-person shooters, you know, where you have controls on screen. It's nicer to hold than like an iPad Pro, and maybe a little nicer to hold than your iPhone because you just have more space to sort of grip onto it and more screen space to sort of see what you're doing. The only downsides that I can think of are, for cheaper, you do get a bigger display with the iPad 9th gen, so you get a bigger, not brighter, not as good of a display, but definitely bigger, which could be better for movie watching or for people who have some sight problems. Also too, this display does not have 120 Hertz, so if you want to play PUBG or something else with a higher frame rate, you're gonna wanna stick with an iPhone, but that is more expensive, especially if you wanna buy a Pro model, which is the only model that has a higher refresh rate. Also too, the iPad Pro is more expensive and has a higher refresh rate. I wish that we'd get it in here, not only for everyday usage, but for gameplay, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, I mean, overall though, if you want a compact iPad that's comfortable to use in bed or on a couch, or just like leaning like this without dropping it on your face, the iPad mini is definitely the device you're gonna wanna buy. The one other thing I want to touch on before we wrap up here is battery life, and I do have a cellular model, so maybe my view of it is a little skewed. But regardless, just like the iPhone 13 mini and the iPhone 12 mini, there's a smaller battery in here compared to the iPad Air and the other iPad Pro models. So even though those don't get like the best battery life ever, especially compared to like M1 MacBook Airs and Pros, this performs even worse. I'm getting about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, I would say. I drain the battery about 15% per hour doing just like note taking and stuff, nothing crazy. So this is not gonna be an all-day iPad in my experience. Maybe I'm wrong because I do have a cellular model, although I don't really use cellular data that much ever. But yeah, that's my experience, and that might limit your choice here or steer you away from the iPad mini if you do need more battery life. But again, here, as I'm gonna be saying, if the size is what you want, you're gonna have to sacrifice a bit of battery life, it seems. So what is the final verdict here? What do I think after I've picked this up and used it for a second time without the sort of honeymoon phase, oh my God, the iPad mini was updated kind of mindset? Well, I still love this thing. I think Apple really made a great decision putting iPad Air 4-like components into this, sort of miniaturizing the iPad Pro, if you will. And for people who love compact, this is the best thing ever. But some of us are not into that as much. Some of us want bigger screen sizes, especially for note taking, like I said. That's why I default really to an iPad Pro 11-inch. This is the M1 version, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. Nothing crazy, but this is what I like to use for the most part here, because it's the sort of Goldilocks iPad, if you will. That's why the iPad Air is 10.9 inches, very, pretty much identical in size to this, but that's a different story. But yeah, I mean, if you like the iPad mini for what it is, if you want a smaller device, it's wonderful. And like I said, yeah, it saves a lot of space on your desk, which I happen to enjoy when I'm sort of out and about with limited desk space, or at home here, like right here, where I don't want to have an iPad sort of taking up so much space in front of me. It's also amazing for annotation. So if you're more into that and less into really heavy duty note taking like I am sometimes, this device is perfect for you. Another thing that I'm a little disappointed about or not a fan of is the battery life. Once again, like I just went over here, it's kind of like the iPhone 13 mini. I'm not gonna repeat my talking point, but yeah, it's not the best. Maybe a little better with the Wi-Fi model. I do have a cellular model here, but in my experience here, this drains really quickly. I also use it at full brightness, so maybe that's my fault, but I do like to use my iPads at full brightness. iPads in general, I don't know, drain a little more quickly than I'd like. Maybe I got spoiled by the battery life in the M1 MacBook Air and Pro, but I digress. Is the iPad mini too small? For me, in ways, in other ways not. But again, if you are going to make a decision, if you are going to have one iPad, unlike me, because I'm a tech reviewer, you know, I have all the stuff and I'm kind of biased and in my own head that way. If you're gonna pick one, if you want the compact form factor, you are going to have to make some compromises. And if you don't want to do that, then go with an iPad, a 10.2 inch or something bigger or better. And that's about all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's great to be back here. I have a lot more content planned for this month and the next and the next, and I'm really excited for this year. Hopefully things go better than they did last year and the year before, obviously. It's crazy to me that 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022 are 4 different years. 2019 did not seem that long ago, but maybe I'm just getting older, maybe I'm just not seeing how fast time moves. But regardless, I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave a link to GoodNotes in the video description. Once again, thanks to GoodNotes for sponsoring this video again as well. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.